my research on the godless. I have...
Oh, gods. And Adiran, what is it this time?
Don't worry, darling. The official Adiran envoy is here at my request.
What I want to know is why he's in the company of one of our own.
I meant to stop by, but I guess time got away from me.
I'll deal with you later. We have unfinished business. But your friend has some explaining to do. Why have you come to Thirdborn? After what your people did in Emerald Stair, I can't imagine you carry an edict of friendship with you. No, Adir just supports her. In arms, politics, and kith.
I know you're upset, Tamerti, but don't take it out on us. I'm furious too, darling. That monster stole my research, and who knows what she plans for it. But you know that if this Adiran was untrustworthy, I'd kill him myself.
I apologize, Envoy. Eagle's Reach is a slaughterhouse. Dreamthralls siege our gates day and night. People are hungry, and I have not slept in days. So my temper is a powder keg, I'm afraid. I am trying not to explode. This isn't a courtesy visit, is it? I assume you're here delivering a message on behalf of Adir. Does she intend to raise our home as well?
Maybe worse. Ludwine's goons stole all my research on the godless back in Fior, and now she's a little too interested in the godless ruins here.
What do you mean? Andra's depths. If I could help you, I would. The fact of the matter is, I'm in over my head already. I can't even protect the ruins myself. The Archmage Ringrim has warped the very reality of Shatterscarp. Let's just say there's a magical barrier around the ruins now. No one's getting in or out without Ringgrim's say-so.
Ringgrim? As in from the Circle of Archmagi? She's here?
The very one. I feared you'd be excited. Her presence isn't a good thing, Yatzli. She flew into the Shark's Teeth a few weeks ago, and now that area is an impenetrable wasteland of ice. I heard there's an Adiran who had his mind utterly broken by her. He's still lost out there as far as I know.
Maybe even an entrance to the garden. We absolutely have to go inside and see for ourselves. The Circle of Archmagi don't get involved unless there's something they can gain. They're not really known for their altruism. Look at the Siege of Craghold. And that was just so that Lengrath could try and show up Consulhot.
The truth is, I'm up to my neck in catastrophes. Between the horde of Dreamthralls pounding on our gates and trying to keep peace with Adir, I've had to station guards on our borders to control who goes in and out, just to keep everyone safe. I never thought I'd say this, but the Archmage is the least of my concerns. So, Ludwine wants the ruins, but even if I wanted to give them over, Ringgrim controls them. And good luck getting an audience with an Archmage. I didn't know they made adherents with such bravery. You never know what marvels you live to see. You're likely gonna die a very horrible death, but I pray Galawain will at least make it fast.
If she doesn't want to be found, that's all the more reason for us to go looking.
When an Archmage like Ringgrim decides they don't want to be disturbed, they make sure of it. There are rumors she uses the bones of the ancient dead to guard her domain. I suspect that's the point. I think Ringgrim enjoys her reputation almost as much as she enjoys earning it. I wouldn't blame you if you choose to run away, but if you want to find Ringrim. Head east of here, go past the Pargrunen ruins, and when you see the ice, you're there. And Yatzli, be careful. If Quilici lost you, he'd never forgive me.
Oh, don't worry about me, Temerti. If my spells fizzle, I can always give a good lashing with my tongue.
That's what I'm afraid of. Good luck. Good. It might convince her to keep you safe, too. One last thing. Once you had a moment to settle in with Yatzli, come back and speak with me. I need your help with something.
How exciting. We're off to see an archmage. To gain access to an ancient godless ruin. Oh, you do spoil me. I've just the fragrance for such an occasion. I want to make sure I smell my best when she kills us. Meet me by the tavern when you're ready to head out. Make sure all your gear is up to snuff. We are meeting an archmage, after all.
Thank goodness we have Yatzli. Our little friend group needed a bit of chaos.
Yeah. Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place. Well, that's what I'm trying to nail down. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller? And home just wasn't the same. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis. Dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars. Me too. Being back. It felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death. True. But I can't help but feel that the Thirdborn I knew 6 years ago would have faced it better. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temeriti's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving? Or it'll go the way of the godless and their ruins. Not sure which idea makes me more uneasy. What about you? You were sent by your emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. Between releasing Egwolf and thwarting the Steel Garrote and Emerald Stair, you've opposed your empire's interests. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides? That kind of clarity is rare. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow. A marker of his service to Thirdborn's defense. And something that helps his comrades identify his remains, if needed.
You always hope it won't come to that.
You hope it won't, but you know it might. It's an old Rautian naval tradition that Thirdborn's kept alive. And another debt I owe him. I'll be here if you need me.
The Dream Scourge is getting worse. First our land, then our animals. Now our people. If we don't put a stop to it, we're looking at the end of the Living Lands. I keep trying, and the world keeps punishing me for it. As if the Dream Scourge wasn't enough of a problem, the Adherents are profiting off our misfortune. They haven't come to help us. They're here to exploit our weakness. Agreed. They can no longer hide in the shadow of benevolence. It's too bad. We're fighting for our lives, our souls, and our freedom. I don't know if we can win all three. You really think so? My apologies for acting cynical, but it feels as if nature, politics, and even the very gods are working against us. I don't appreciate being backed into a corner, but here I am. Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatzli. In many ways, Quilici has been like a second father to me. But Yatzli, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good. Not only can she fight, she can hold her liquor. Couldn't even tell you where it goes. While I have your attention, I've been thinking. Why is Inquisitor Ludwig suddenly interested in godless ruins? When it comes to her, there's never any good news. We should be ready for anything. Something tells me Ludwig isn't finished with us yet. If I must. When I joined you, I thought we'd be exploring the intersection of the physical and the spiritual, not bickering over sulfur. Yet here we are. Without those mines, Thirdborn has no gunpowder. They lost an advantage when they needed it most. Perhaps, but this is no time to be fighting with one hand tied behind your back. At the end of the day, bullets are of limited use against the Dream Scourge. And it'll take more than gunpowder to wrest the living lands out of your Empire's clutches. Anyway, what do I know? I'm an animancer, not a strategist.
Listening to Yatzli's thoughts about godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else. Well, don't you think it's a little convenient? You need to go somewhere no one ever goes, and here she is to show you the way? If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then. Bothered? Pedraku. It's my job to guide you as safely as possible. What you're doing isn't safe. I'll go along with whatever you decide. Just don't be disappointed when she doesn't show you what you wanted to see. Anyway,